One second, the boy was eating wild mushroom risotto at table 12. The next, convulsing, choking. His face slammed into the plate. Silence. Terrifying silence. Then his father's wine glass shattered against marble. The sound cut through the harbor grill like a gunshot. But here's what nobody knew. This 9-year-old hadn't responded to epinephrine in 14 months. 17 specialists examined him. 17 experts tried everything. Allergy protocols, experimental treatments, immunotherapy. They spent $2.3 million. Nothing worked. Now he's dying on a restaurant floor in Seattle. And across the dining room, a single mom waitress stood frozen. Her name was Maya Rodriguez. But 18 months ago, she was Dr. Maya Rodriguez, pediatric hematologist, until the day they destroyed her career. The man screaming over his dying son. He sits on the hospital board that voted to destroy her. Before I tell you what happened next, answer me this. Could you step forward knowing it might destroy you? Could you save your enemy's child, even if that enemy took everything from you? Drop your answer below. Be honest and hit subscribe right now, because what this waitress pulled from her savings account, what 17 specialists missed, it will leave you speechless. This isn't just a medical emergency. It's a story about invisible people, impossible choices, and the moment when staying silent becomes more dangerous than speaking up. Marcus Castellano Jr. had been eating for exactly 7 minutes when his fork clattered to the plate. Maya was 3 tables away, balancing a tray of halibut. She saw it. The way his small hands flew to his throat. The way his father leaned forward, confused then alarmed. The way the boy's eyes went wide with terror. "Marcus?" The father's voice cut across the restaurant. "Marcus?" The boy pitched forward. Face hit the plate. Body started convulsing. The restaurant erupted. Diners standing, chairs scraping. Someone screamed. Marcus Castellanos Sr., $6,000 Brioni suit, Italian leather shoes, Patek Philippe watch catching the pendant lights. Grabbed his son, frantically searching his pockets. "His EpiPen. Where's his EpiPen?" Maya's tray trembled in her hands. Halibut sliding, wine glasses rattling. Manager Todd sprinted from the host stand, phone already at his ear. 911, yes. Medical emergency. The Harbor Grill on Pike Place. Maya heard the dispatcher's voice, tinny through the phone. All units responding to multi-car accident on I-5. Estimated arrival, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Seattle, Thursday evening traffic, rain hammering the windows, rush hour. The boy had maybe 4 minutes before his airway closed completely. But Maya's diagnostic mind was already processing. The petechial rash spreading across his neck, the pattern was wrong. Not typical food allergy presentation. The onset timing, 7 minutes post-ingestion. Delayed. That suggested biphasic reaction. The quality of his convulsions, rhythmic, specific. And his hands, the way they pressed the sides of his neck, not the front where food would lodge. Sternocleidomastoid muscles. Her medical training screamed at her. Delayed biphasic anaphylaxis. Underlying coagulation disorder. Standard epinephrine protocol could trigger internal bleeding. She knew what to do. Modified positioning. Specific pressure points. Airway management without medication until paramedics arrived with proper anticoagulant support. But her feet wouldn't move. Criminal charges. Class C felony. 5 years in prison, practicing medicine without a license in Washington State. If she helped, someone would ask questions. How does a waitress know advanced pediatric emergency protocols? They'd investigate. They'd discover who she really was. Dr. Richard Chen, the man who framed her, who destroyed her career, he had Google alerts on her name. He'd know within hours. And Lily, 6 years old, asthma. Her daughter would end up in foster care, county system, overworked caseworkers, her medications forgotten, her inhaler running empty while Maya sat in a prison cell, unable to help. The survival voice in her head, not your problem, you can't save everyone. Protect Lily. But the boy's lips were turning blue. The healer voice, the one that had sustained her through 7 years of medical training. He's 9 years old. He's dying. You have the knowledge. And beneath it all, the maternal voice. If that was Lily choking, you'd want someone to help. The father was on his knees now, holding his son, screaming. Someone help him. Please, someone do something. Maya's feet moved before her mind gave permission. She set down the tray, walked toward table 12. Her hands were steady. Her voice cut through the chaos like a scalpel. Step back. Give me room. Everyone froze. The waitress was giving orders. She knelt beside the boy. Her hands moved with surgical precision, muscle memory bleeding through 18 months of suppression. She checked his pulse with 3 fingers at the carotid artery. Medical technique, not EMT. She assessed the rash distribution, recognizing the specific pattern of delayed allergic response complicated by clotting disorder. She positioned his body with exact precision, optimizing airway flow without risking hemorrhage. Manager Todd appeared at her shoulder. Maya, what are you? I took EMT courses years ago, basic emergency response. The lie tasted like metal in her mouth, but her actions betrayed her. She checked the boy's pupil response, capillary refill time. Her fingers found the pressure points that would maintain his airway without medication. She murmured under her breath, clinical language she didn't realize she was speaking. Airway patent but compromised. Oxygen saturation dropping. Need to maintain until... She caught herself. The father grabbed her arm, desperate. What can I do? Maya looked at him. Really looked. Silver temples, exhausted eyes. Grief carved into the lines around his mouth. A man drowning. Does he have any other medical conditions? Bleeding disorders? Blood problems? The father's face went white. How did you... Yes, von Willebrand disease, type 2. How did you know? Maya's stomach dropped. She shouldn't have known. Regular EMT training wouldn't prompt that question. But the rash pattern, the delayed onset, the way his body was responding, it all pointed to underlying coagulation issues. The rash pattern, she said quickly. I've seen it before, in training. She continued working, specific positioning, monitoring vitals with precision that revealed too much expertise. She was performing modified anaphylaxis protocol, maintaining his airway without epinephrine that could trigger internal bleeding in someone with von Willebrand disease. Fellow server Marcus stood nearby, confused. I've never seen anyone do that. Sirens. Finally, growing louder. Paramedics burst through the door 11 minutes after the call. Faster than predicted, but still an eternity. Maya briefed them with clinical precision. 9-year-old male, delayed biphasic anaphylaxis, von Willebrand disease type 2. Approximately 12 minutes post-onset. Airway maintained manually. No epinephrine administered due to coagulation disorder risk. Vitals, currently. She stopped herself. I mean, that's what I thought based on basic training. The lead paramedic stared at her. You're a waitress? I took courses a long time ago. Well, you just saved his life. Whatever courses you took, they were damn good ones. They loaded the boy onto the stretcher, stabilized, breathing, alive. Marcus Castellano Sr. approached Maya, trembling. He pulled out a business card, pressed it into her hand. I don't know who you are. I don't know how you knew what to do. But you saved my son's life. His voice broke. He's all I have left. His mother. She died 14 months ago. He's everything. And you saved him. Maya wanted to disappear. The attention felt like searchlights on her skin. I just did what anyone would. No, not anyone. I saw what you did. Thank you. He climbed into the ambulance with his son. Maya stood in the dining room, business card trembling in her hand. Marcus Castellano, Sr. CEO, Castellano Maritime Group Board Member, Seattle Children's Hospital Foundation. The smell of seared halibut mixed with the salt spray from Elliott Bay through the open door. Rain hammered the windows. The flashing ambulance lights disappeared into Seattle traffic. Maya tasted metal in her mouth. Adrenaline. Fear. The man whose son she just saved was about to become the most dangerous person in her life. Earlier, Maya's day began the usual manner. The alarm screamed at 5:43 a.m. Maya's hand shot out in the darkness, silencing it before it could wake Lily. She lay still for a moment, staring at the water-stained ceiling of their Rainier Valley apartment. Through the thin walls, she could hear her neighbor's baby crying. Again. The sound had become the soundtrack to her insomnia. She sat up. Her back ached. Too many double shifts, too much time on her feet. Lily slept in the twin bed across their shared bedroom, 6 years old, dark hair spread across the pillow. Her asthma inhaler sat on the nightstand, pink, child-sized, a reminder of Maya's daily calculations. Maya moved to the kitchen table, bills spread out like tarot cards predicting doom. She didn't need a calculator. Her medical training had given her a photographic memory for numbers. The math played out in her head with brutal precision. Checking account, $394.67. Savings account, $847. Untouchable, emergency fund. Rent due in 6 days, $1,450. Lily's inhaler refill due in 4 days, $127 with insurance. Mrs. Chen's childcare this week, $75 utilities past due. $143 monthly total needed. $2,340 average tips per shift. 180 220 shifts this week. 5 if she was lucky. The math didn't work. It never worked. She made Lily breakfast. Generic cereal. Milk that expired today. She'd already sniffed it twice. Gentle mother moment. She checked Lily's breathing, listened for the wheeze, adjusted her inhaler technique, kissed her forehead. Mama, when can we go to the aquarium again? Maya's chest tightened. Last time, 14 months ago, before everything collapsed. Soon, baby, soon. The lie tasted like copper. They walked to school together, 3 blocks, holding hands. Seattle morning, rain-slicked streets, fairy lights cutting through gray water on Elliott Bay. Maya watched Lily run through the school doors, her pink backpack bouncing. Each goodbye carried weight. What if today was the day CPS came? What if someone noticed the worn shoes, the too small jacket, the signs of poverty Maya tried so hard to hide? Bus to Pike Place Market. $2.75 each way. She calculated obsessively. 5 days a week, $27.50 weekly, $110 monthly. Money that could buy Lily's inhaler or food or anything except the bus ride Maya needed to get to work. She arrived at the Harbor Grill at 1:15 p.m. for her 2 p.m. shift. The staff locker room smelled like industrial soap and exhaustion. She changed into her uniform, black slacks showing wear at the knees, white button-down she bleached weekly to hide the stains. When she opened her locker, the remnants of her former life stared back. A medical journal, detailed case notes, observations written in clinical shorthand only a trained physician would recognize. Cleveland Clinic Pediatric Hematology Conference name tag in a zippered pocket. Worn copy of Harrison's Principles of Internal Medicine hidden under her apron. A photograph, her in surgical scrubs. Dr. Maya Rodriguez embroidered on the chest, accepting an award, younger, hopeful, a different person. While tying her apron, her hands moved unconsciously. Checking pulse points on her own wrist, palpation motions, diagnostic gestures she couldn't erase, muscle memory bleeding through. Pre-shift meeting, Manager Todd reviewed reservations. Castellano party, table 12, 4:30 p.m., VIP treatment. Everyone clear? Maya took the West Wing. 8 tables. Todd handed her the reservation list. She memorized all 34 orders without writing anything down. Her photographic memory, medical training she couldn't shut off. The restaurant filled. Lunch rush, wealthy tech executives, old Seattle money, women in designer dresses discussing private school applications, men in suits talking stock options. She was furniture. Invisible. An elderly woman sat in her section. Mrs. Chen, different from her babysitter Mrs. Chen, a regular who always ordered the Caesar salad, dressing on the side. Maya poured water, noticed. Slight yellowing in the sclera, fatigue, hand tremor. Her diagnostic mind processed automatically. Early stage jaundice, elevated bilirubin, possible liver dysfunction. Mrs. Chen, have you had your annual checkup recently? The woman smiled, tired. Not in 2 years, dear. Why? Just, you seem a little tired. Might be worth checking in with your doctor. 2 weeks later, this would save Mrs. Chen's life. Early stage hepatitis. Caught in time, treatable. But Maya would never know. Fellow server Marcus appeared at her elbow. How do you do that? The memory thing? Maya deflected. Practice. Lots of practice. But her hands were moving again. Unconscious suturing motions while folding napkins. Phantom surgeries performed in muscle memory. She caught herself, forced her hands still. Stay invisible. At 4:32 p.m., a black Mercedes S-Class pulled up to valet parking. The driver opened the rear door. Marcus Castellano, sir, emerged. 54 years old, silver temples, $6,000 Brioni suit that fit like water. Italian leather shoes, Berluti, probably 2400, Patek Philippe watch catching the light. But his eyes told a different story. Exhausted, hollow, grief weight in his shoulders. A man moving with authority, but something broken underneath. The entire restaurant staff straightened. Manager Todd practically sprinted. Mr. Castellano, table 12 is ready. Other diners looked up. Everyone knew who he was. Castellano Maritime Group, CEO, net worth $2.7 billion. Seattle Children's Hospital Foundation board member. This detail dropped casually by Todd to the servers. Major donor. The new pediatric wing bore his name. Behind him, a boy emerged from the Mercedes. Marcus Jr., 9 years old. Small for his age. Intelligent dark eyes that held too much sadness. Medical alert bracelet visible on his wrist. He clutched an iPad against his chest like armor. His hands trembled slightly. Hyper-vigilant, scanning the room. His father's hand rested protective on his shoulder. They were seated at table 12, Maya's section. She approached with water glasses, menus. Professional smile, calculated for maximum tips. She'd perfected it. warm but not intrusive, attentive but not desperate. "Good evening, Mr. Castellano. Welcome back." He barely glanced at her. She was furniture, part of the scenery. His focus stayed entirely on his son. "What looks good, Marcus? You can have anything you want." But then something happened that complicated him. An elderly woman struggled with a heavy entrance door. Rain pouring, umbrella tangling, shopping bags slipping. Marcus Castellanos Sr. immediately stood, crossed the restaurant, held the door wide. "Here, let me help you with those, Mrs. Patterson." He took her bags, escorted her to her table. Genuine warmth in his voice, respectful attention. He returned to his son. "Sorry, buddy. Where were we?" Maya watched. This moment complicated her assumptions. He was capable of seeing people, of kindness, but only certain people. Class determined visibility. She took their order. "How about the wild mushroom risotto?" "I know you love mushrooms." The boy typed on his iPad. "Can I have chocolate cake after?" His father smiled. Genuine, heartbreaking. "Of course, you can have 2 slices if you want." Maya noticed everything her training demanded. Medical alert bracelet, severe allergies, shellfish, tree nuts, bee stings, EpiPen case clipped to father's belt, father's hypervigilance. Watching his son constantly phone buzzing, he ignored it 3 times, prioritizing his son a conversation fragment as she served water. The boy typed, "Dad, when is Mom coming back?" The father's face crumpled, recovered. "Buddy, we talked about this. Mom can't come back." "I know, but I miss her." "I miss her too, every single day." The phone buzzed again. Email notification visible for a split second before he silenced it. Seattle Children's Hospital Foundation Board meeting. Friday 9 a.m. agenda. Medical licensing review. Dr. Chen recommendations. Maya retreated to the server station. Her medical mind assessed automatically. Boy shows signs of chronic stress. Possible anxiety disorder. Hand tremor, neurological issue or medication side effect. Hypervigilance suggests PTSD or grief response. Medical alert bracelet, but father seems overly cautious even for severe allergies. Something else going on. Complex medical history. She caught herself. "Stop. Not your patient, not your business. Stay invisible." But her hands were moving. Phantom diagnostic gestures. Fellow server Marcus noticed. "You okay?" "Yeah, fine. Just thinking about my daughter." She had no idea that in exactly 3 hours and 14 minutes, everything she'd built would either collapse or transform. The man who would decide her fate was sitting at table 12, ordering wild mushroom risotto for his son. And the choice she'd make in those 3 hours would bring a helicopter to her apartment building. Marcus Jr. took his first bite of wild mushroom risotto at exactly 4:47 p.m. He ate slowly, carefully, the way children with severe allergies learn to eat, hyper-aware of every texture, every taste. 7 minutes passed. Then his fork clattered to the plate. His hands flew to his throat. His father leaned forward, confused, then alarmed. "Marcus?" The boy's face went pale, hands clutching, not just throat, sides of his neck, the sternocleidomastoid muscles. "Marcus?" He pitched forward. Face hit the plate. Body started convulsing. The restaurant erupted. Marcus Castellanos Sr. grabbed his son, searching pockets frantically. "His EpiPen! Where is it?" He realized. Switched jackets earlier. EpiPen in the car. Wrong jacket. Diners stood. Staff converged. Someone screamed. Manager Todd on the phone. 911. Seattle traffic, Thursday evening. 15 minutes minimum. Maya saw everything her training demanded. The petechial rash spreading across his neck. But the pattern was wrong. Not immediate. Delayed. 7 minutes post-ingestion. The convulsions, rhythmic, specific quality. His hands pressing the sides of his neck, not the front. Her diagnostic mind screamed. Delayed biphasic anaphylaxis. Underlying coagulation disorder. Von Willebrand disease. She'd seen the medical alert bracelet. Standard epinephrine protocol will trigger internal bleeding. 4 minutes, maybe less, before his airway closed completely. She stood frozen, 3 tables away. Every instinct warred inside her. Criminal charges, prison, Lily in foster care. But the boy's lips were turning blue. Not your problem. You can't save everyone. Protect Lily. But he's 9 years old. If that was Lily choking, you'd want someone to help. The father screaming, "Someone help him, please." Maya's feet moved. She set down her tray, walked to table 12. Her voice cut through chaos. "Step back, give me room." Everyone froze. She knelt, hands moving with surgical precision. Manager Todd. "Maya, what?" "I took EMT courses years ago. Basic emergency response." But her actions betrayed elite expertise. 3 fingers on carotid pulse, medical technique. Assessing rash distribution with pattern recognition, 17 specialists had missed. Positioning his body with exact precision. Airway management protocol designed for coagulation disorders. She checked pupil response, capillary refill time, murmured clinical language. Airway patent but compromised, oxygen saturation dropping, need to maintain. Caught herself. The father desperate. "What can I do?" "Does he have any other medical conditions? Bleeding disorders?" His face went white. "How did you—" "Yes, von Willebrand disease. Type 2. How did you know?" Her stomach dropped. Regular EMT wouldn't ask that. "The rash pattern. I've seen it before." She performed modified protocol. Specific pressure points maintaining airway without epinephrine. Monitoring vitals with precision that revealed everything. Sirens. Finally. Paramedics burst through 11 minutes later. Maya briefed with clinical precision. 9-year-old male, delayed biphasic anaphylaxis, von Willebrand type 2, 12 minutes post-onset, airway maintained manually, no epinephrine due to coagulation risk. Stopped. Based on basic training. The lead paramedic stared. "You're a waitress?" "I took courses. You just saved his life." They loaded the boy, stabilized, alive. Marcus Castellano Sr. approached, trembling, pressed a business card into her hand. "You saved my son's life. He's all I have left. His mother died 14 months ago. Thank you." He climbed into the ambulance. Maya stood holding his card. Marcus Castellano, Sir CEO. Castellano Maritime Group board member. Seattle Children's Hospital Foundation. The taste of metal in her mouth. The man whose son she saved was about to become the most dangerous person in her life. The dining room slowly returned to normal. Diners whispering, pointing at Maya. Manager Todd pulled her aside. "That was incredible. But how did you know all that?" Maya's prepared lie. "My mom was a nurse. She taught me things, and I took EMT classes when I was younger." Todd. "Castellano is a major player. You did good." But his eyes held questions. Fellow server Marcus. "That was not basic EMT. I'm certified. You were doing things I've never seen. Adrenaline. You remember training better when it's life or death." She felt the attention, the visibility. Every instinct screamed, run, hide, disappear. 18 months ago in the hospital's board hearing room. Maya stood before 12 people who would decide her fate. Dr. Richard Chen presented evidence. Patient medication error resulting in death. Gross negligence in experimental protocol. Failure to follow procedures. Maya tried to defend. Those aren't my notes. I never prescribed. Board chairman cutting her off. Dr. Chen has provided documentation. Marcus Castellano Sr. speaking. The evidence is clear. Dr. Rodriguez poses unacceptable risk to patients. I move to revoke her medical license permanently. Vote 11-1. Her world collapsed. 27 years old. $287,000 in debt. 3-year-old daughter at home. Career destroyed in 47 minutes. Back to the restaurant bathroom. Maya stared at Marcus Sr.'s business card. The man who voted to destroy her career just thanked her for saving his son. Maya just made a choice there's no coming back from. She revealed her medical knowledge. Not all of it, but enough to raise questions. Before we continue, I need to know, in her position, would you have stayed invisible and protected yourself? Or stepped forward and risked everything? Be honest, there's no right answer. But your choice says something about how you navigate impossible situations. Drop it below. And here's why you need to subscribe. This story has 3 acts, and Act 2 gets dark. Maya's about to discover that saving Marcus Jr.'s life has put her on a collision course with the very people who destroyed her. If you're not subscribed, YouTube might not show you what happens when Marcus Castellano figures out who his son's rescuer really is. Trust me, you don't want to miss that revelation. At 10:47 p.m. Thursday, Lily slept in the twin bed, breathing steady. Maya sat at the kitchen table with her laptop, the blue glow the only light in the cramped apartment. She couldn't stop thinking about Marcus Jr. Google search. Marcus Castellano Seattle results flooded the screen. Castellano Maritime Group, $2.7 billion net worth Seattle Children's Hospital Foundation. Board member since 2019, philanthropist, $15 million donation. New pediatric wing bears his name, tragedy. Wife, Rebecca Castellano, died in car accident. March 2024, 14 months ago. Survivor, son Marcus Jr. survived accident, but mother died on scene. Maya clicked deeper. Another article. Billionaire's son battles rare condition. Father spares no expense. Von Willebrand disease type 2. Multiple severe allergies developed post-accident. $2.3 million spent on specialists nationwide. 17 doctors. No lasting solutions. Father quoted, "I'll do whatever it takes. He's all I have left." Maya's medical mind processed automatically. Von Willebrand plus severe allergies plus trauma response. Classic post-traumatic stress manifestation in pediatric patients. Allergies likely have psychosomatic component layered on real condition. Needs integrated treatment, medical plus psychological. She opened her private medical journal, hidden Google Doc, encrypted. Added entry, patient, MC, 9YO male, VWD type 2, multiple allergies, delayed biphasic anaphylaxis. Typed detailed medical assessment. Pattern 17 specialists missed. Connections between grief triggers and allergic responses. She caught herself. Why am I doing this? He's not my patient. I'm not a doctor anymore. But the healer in her wouldn't stop. Marcus Sr. couldn't sleep. Marcus Jr. stable at hospital. Overnight observation. But his father sat in his home office, unable to stop replaying the restaurant scene. The waitress's hands. Too precise, too confident. The medical terminology she used, then caught herself. The diagnostic questions. How did she know about bleeding disorders? He pulled out her business card from the restaurant. Maya Rodriguez. Server, the Harbor Grill, called head of security. I need a background check. Full workup. On who, sir? A waitress, Maya Rodriguez. Works at the Harbor Grill. Sir, is there a security concern? No. She saved my son's life. I want to know who she is. Something doesn't add up. I'll have preliminary report by morning. Marcus searched. Maya Rodriguez, Seattle 2 Common. Hundreds of results. Tried. Maya Rodriguez, Medical Seattle, page 3. Small news article, 18 months old. Seattle Children's Hospital revokes doctor's license. Dr. Maya Rodriguez, pediatric hematologist, license revoked following patient death. Photo. Younger, professional headshot, unmistakably her. Marcus's stomach dropped. He clicked through to hospital board archives. He had access as board member. Found hearing transcript, video recording, watched himself on screen. The evidence is clear. Dr. Rodriguez poses unacceptable risk to patients. I vote to revoke her license permanently. Saw her face in archive footage. Same woman, different life. The waitress who saved his son was the doctor he destroyed. He sat in darkness, rain hammering penthouse windows, whispered, "What did I do?" Marcus continued watching hearing footage. Dr. Richard Chen, presenting case. Patient Thomas Whitmore, age 4, died following medication error. Dr. Rodriguez prescribed experimental dosage outside approved parameters. Despite warnings, she proceeded with unapproved treatment. Marcus's own voice. Dr. Chen, you're certain of this evidence? Chen, absolutely. I have her prescription notes, dosage records, all documentation. Marcus, then I see no choice. The child's death demands accountability. But now, watching it back, Marcus noticed things. Chen wouldn't make eye contact. Documentation seemed too perfect. Maya's desperate defense. Those aren't my notes. Someone altered. Cut off. Not allowed to finish. Marcus pulled up Chen's current position. Still at Seattle Children's Hospital. Consultant for Pacific Northwest Medical Boards. $6.4 million in research grants. Up from $4.2 million. Searched. Dr. Richard Chen, complaints, found sealed investigations. Complaints withdrawn. Pattern of accusers going silent. Realization dawning. Was she telling the truth? More searching. Thomas Whitmore, death Seattle Children sealed medical records. Family received settlement with NDA attached. But Marcus had board access to sealed files. He opened Thomas Whitmore case file. Actual prescription notes. Handwriting didn't match samples of Maya's other prescriptions. Dosage records. Digital timestamps showed edits after the fact. Security footage from medication room. Chen accessing Maya's login. Her computer. Marcus's hands shaking. He framed her. And I voted to destroy her without even looking. 2 people. 2 screens. 2 versions of the same truth. By morning, their paths would cross again. And this time, the collision would be deliberate. Maya's shift started at 2 p.m. She was exhausted, late night researching. Lily's inhaler refilled this morning, $127 pulled from tip money. Financial math running constantly. Rent due in 5 days, $450 savings account, 720 checking, $283.15. Tips needed this week. Impossible. She was serving lunch rush, trying to stay invisible again. Then the black Mercedes pulled up. Marcus Castellano Sr. stepped out. Not dressed for lunch, business meeting attire, walked directly to manager Todd. I need to speak with Maya Rodriguez, privately. Todd, nervous. Is there a problem, Mr. Castellano? No problem. Just need 5 minutes. Restaurant staff watching. Maya's stomach dropping. This is it. He figured it out. He's going to report me. Marcus's eyes found hers across the dining room. Expression unreadable. Not angry. Something else. Guilt? Todd led them to the back storage room. Shelves of dry goods. Industrial cleaning supplies. Smell of flour, coffee beans, industrial soap. Door closed. Silence. Maya spoke first. If you're going to report me, just do it. Don't drag it out. Marcus, surprised. Report you? For what? For practicing medicine without a license. That's a Class C felony. 5 years in prison. You think I came here to have you arrested? Didn't you? Marcus, I came here to apologize. Maya's turned to be shocked. What? He pulled out his iPad, showed her the board hearing footage. You're Dr. Maya Rodriguez, pediatric hematologist. I voted to revoke your license 18 months ago. Her face hardened. I know who you are, Mr. Castellano. You knew when you saved Marcus? No. I figured it out last night. Your name was on the board roster. You were one of 12 people who destroyed my career. Silence. Marcus. I watched the hearing again, last night, for the first time since it happened. Showed her the evidence he found. Chen's fabrications, timeline manipulations. You were telling the truth. Chen framed you. And I was too lazy, too arrogant to investigate. Maya's hands shaking. You know what you took from me? I had a 3-year-old daughter, $287,000 in student debt. No other skills. You sentenced us to poverty because you couldn't be bothered to look at evidence. I know. And I'm sorry isn't enough. It will never be enough. Then why are you here? Because my son is alive because of you. Because you saved him, even though I destroyed you. Because that kind of... He struggled for words. That's who you are, and I need to make this right. Maya, suspicious. Make it right? How? I'll fund your license reinstatement. My lawyers, my money, whatever it takes. In exchange for what? Nothing. This isn't a transaction. Everything is a transaction, Mr. Castellano. Men like you don't do anything without return on investment. He flinched. Fair, but wrong. This is debt. I owe you. Maya studied him, saw the grief etched in his face, the exhaustion, the genuine remorse. Your son, he needs more than allergy specialists. Marcus, what do you mean? The allergies developed after the accident? After your wife died? His face went pale. How did you... Because I'm a doctor. Was a doctor. His body is manifesting grief as physical symptoms. The von Willebrand is real, but the severity of his allergic responses, there's a psychosomatic component. 17 specialists examined him. Did any of them specialize in pediatric trauma? Grief counseling integrated with medical treatment? Silence. No, Marcus admitted. He needs therapy. Medical grade, trauma-informed, integrated with his physical treatment. And he needs his father to stop throwing money at the problem and start dealing with his own grief. Marcus's defenses rising. You don't know anything about... Your wife died 14 months ago. Your son stopped responding normally to epinephrine around the same time. His body is stuck in the trauma. So is yours. And money can't fix that. Silence. The truth hung between them like smoke. Marcus, quiet. What do I do? Let me help him, unofficially. I can't practice, but I can consult. Guide his treatment. I'll work with his specialists. Why would you help me, after what I did? I'm not helping you. I'm helping a 9-year-old boy who lost his mother and might lose his life if someone doesn't connect the dots. Marcus. And your license reinstatement? I don't want your charity. If you want to make it right, get Chen investigated. Real investigation, not board cover-up. Expose what he did. To me and to however many others. There are others. There are always others. Men like Chen don't frame one person and stop. Marcus nodded slowly, extended his hand. They shook in that storage room, a doctor without a license and a billionaire with a conscience. Neither of them knew that Dr. Richard Chen had been notified the moment Marcus accessed those sealed files, and Chen was already making moves to protect himself. Maya worked double shifts at the restaurant, but secretly, Marcus sent encrypted medical files. She reviewed Marcus Jr.'s complete medical history. Years of specialist reports, test results, treatment protocols that failed. And she discovered the pattern 17 specialists missed. Allergic reactions correlated with grief triggers. Dates of worst reactions. March 15th, accident anniversary. May 12th, Mother's Day. August 8th, Mother's birthday. November 26th, Thanksgiving, first without mother. Von Willebrand baseline stable. But stress caused flare-ups. Emotional trauma manifesting as physical crisis. Specialist notes dismissed emotional component as irrelevant. They treated the body, ignored the mind. Maya wrote detailed treatment protocol, integrated approach, medical plus psychological, specific therapist recommendations, pediatric trauma specialists who understood grief manifestation in children, modified medication approach addressing psychosomatic factors, family therapy, father and son processing grief together. She was meticulous, thorough, brilliant, sent recommendations encrypted to Marcus. He forwarded them to Marcus Jr.'s medical team at Seattle Children's Hospital. Marcus Sr. met with the medical team. Dr. Patricia Walsh, lead allergist. Dr. James Chen, Richard's colleague, 3 other specialists. Marcus presented Maya's protocol. Initial interest. This is quite detailed. Who compiled this? Marcus. A consultant. Someone with expertise in pediatric hematology. Dr. James Chen. We'd need credentials, board certifications, publications. Marcus hesitating. The consultant prefers to remain anonymous. Dr. Walsh. Mr. Castellano, with all respect, we can't implement treatment protocols from anonymous sources. Marcus. But look at the analysis. It's solid. It addresses patterns you've missed. Dr. James Chen, suspicious. Where exactly did this come from? Marcus. A former colleague. Someone I trust. Dr. Chen pulled out his phone. Studied the document. His face changed. This writing style? This diagnostic approach? This is familiar. Searched something on his phone. This reads like, no, couldn't be. His face went cold. Mr. Castellano, who wrote this? I told you, a consultant. This is Dr. Maya Rodriguez's work. I'd recognize her diagnostic style anywhere. The room went quiet. Dr. Walsh. The doctor whose license was revoked for patient negligence? Dr. Broerv. James Chen. Pursuing treatment based on recommendations from an unlicensed physician would be medically irresponsible and legally dangerous. Marcus. But the analysis is correct. Look at the data. Dr. Chen cutting him off. I'll need to report this. Medical board requires disclosure of unauthorized medical practice. Marcus. She's not practicing. She's consulting. There's a difference. Not legally, there isn't. Saturday morning at Maya's apartment. Lily sat at the kitchen table doing homework. Knock at door. Certified mail. Maya signed. Opened the envelope. Official letterhead read, Washington State Medical Board cease and desist notice. Rule. Unauthorized medical practice signed. Dr. Richard Chen, board consultant. The letter detailed everything. Evidence of continued medical practice without license. Recommendations submitted to Seattle Children's Hospital. Diagnostic style analysis confirms Dr. Rodriguez as source. Criminal complaint filed with state prosecutor. Surrender all medical materials, patient notes, communications. Failure to comply will result in immediate arrest warrant. Maya's hands shaking. Chen found her. The enforcer from her past had returned, and this time he had criminal leverage. Same day. More mail. From Lily's school, inhaler prescription rejection. Insurance claim denied. Third time this month. Cost without insurance, $340. Maya calculated automatically. Savings account, $720 rent due in 3 days. White $450 Mrs. Chen's childcare. $120 checking account. $283.15. Tips this week, $340 below average distracted at work. The math was impossible. She sat on the apartment floor. Bills spread out. Cease and desist letter. Lily's inhaler sitting on the counter like an accusation. Lily appeared in the doorway. "Mama, are you crying?" Maya quickly wiped tears. "No, baby. Just tired." "Is something wrong?" "Nothing you need to worry about. Go play." But everything was wrong. Saturday night, 11:47 p.m. Lily was asleep while Maya sat alone in the dark kitchen. And then she broke. 7 minutes of ugly, violent sobs that tore through her body like convulsions. Tears for the career destroyed. Tears for her daughter's uncertain future. Tears for doing the right thing and being punished for it. Tears for the boy she saved, whose father she couldn't protect from her own past. Tears for being invisible until it was convenient, then visible when it was dangerous. Her mother's voice in her head, dead 8 years now. "You have healing hands, Mija. Don't ever forget that." Maya looked at her hands in the darkness. Thought about Marcus Jr. He needed help. Thought about Lily. She needed her mother. Thought about prison. 5 years. Lily in foster care. Her asthma unmanaged. Potentially dead within months. The impossible choice. She pulled out the hidden box from the back of her closet. Medical school diploma. Framed. Dusty. Cleveland Clinic Conference Award. Photo of her in surgical scrubs. Younger. Hopeful. Her mother's stethoscope. Inherited. She put the stethoscope around her neck. Closed her eyes. And made a decision. Maya Rodriguez made a choice that night. She would use her last $847 Sun dollars to buy Marcus Jr. the medication his insurance denied, the specialized anticoagulant he'd need if another allergic episode occurred. It would leave her unable to pay rent. It would mean eviction. Probably homelessness. But she was a doctor, even if the law said otherwise. And doctors don't let children die because of insurance paperwork. She had no idea that this choice would bring a helicopter to her apartment building, or that the collision between her poverty and his wealth was about to become impossible to ignore. On Sunday morning, Maya stood at the pharmacy counter. The pharmacist reviewed the prescription for Marcus Jr. Emergency Anticoagulant Kit, specialized medication for patients with von Willebrand disease experiencing anaphylaxis. "Insurance denial," the pharmacist said. "Third-party policy. Without coverage, it's $847. Maya stared at the number. Exact amount in her savings account. The pharmacist continued. "It's for the Castellano boy, right? I saw the news about his allergic reaction at that restaurant." "Maya, how did you—" "Small community, medical supply network. His father's been trying to get this covered for weeks. Insurance says it's not medically necessary. Can you believe that?" Maya could believe it. She'd lived it. I'll take it. You're paying? Are you family? I'm a friend. She pulled out her debit card, hands shaking. The pharmacist swiped it. Transaction approved. Savings account, 0 rent due in 2 days. She had 283 15 hours in checking. Tips this week might cover $340 if she was lucky. She just made herself homeless to save a stranger's child. But the boy wouldn't die from anaphylaxis while insurance companies debated medical necessity. Maya packaged the medication with detailed instructions. Typed note, anonymous. For Marcus Jr., emergency anticoagulant kit. Insurance denial is criminal negligence. Instructions attached. Keep refrigerated. Expiration 24 months. Use according to protocol if anaphylaxis occurs. This will save his life. Sent via courier to Castellano residence. Sunday afternoon, Castellano penthouse. Marcus received the package, opened it, saw the medication, saw the cost receipt. $847. He sat down hard. This was half a year's savings for a waitress working at the Harbor Grill. She paid for his son's medication. She spent everything. He called Maya's cell, had her number from the restaurant. She didn't answer. Texted, I got the package. You didn't have to do this. Let me reimburse you. Maya stared at her phone. Couldn't respond. Couldn't explain why she did it without revealing how desperate she was. Deleted his message. Let me stop here for a second. Maya just spent her last $847, her entire emergency fund, the only thing standing between her daughter and homelessness, to buy medication for the son of the man who destroyed her career. Now I need your prediction. How do you think this resolves? Drop your answer below. A. Marcus finds out and helps her, but it's too late to stop eviction. B. Maya loses her apartment, but keeps her dignity. C. Chen gets Maya arrested before Marcus can intervene. D. Something else entirely. And trust me, what actually happens is wilder than any of these options. And here's why you need to subscribe. The next 20 minutes contain 3 revelations that will reframe this entire story. You think you know who the real villain is? You're half right. There's a deeper connection between Maya and Marcus that neither of them knows yet. Make sure you're subscribed so YouTube shows you the ending. Because what happens when that helicopter lands in Maya's apartment is going to break your heart and then put it back together. Tuesday, 8:47 a.m. What? Maya's apartment knock on the door. Maya answered. Building manager, sheriff's deputy behind him. Manager, rent was due Friday. You have 48-hour notice to vacate? Deputy, ma'am, you need to be out by 5 p.m. today. Lily appeared behind Maya. Mama, what's happening? Maya's voice steady. Controlled. Nothing, baby. Go pack your backpack. The manager, uncomfortable. I'm sorry, Maya. I really am. But the owner, I know. It's fine. It wasn't fine. She had $283.15 in checking. No savings. Nowhere to go. She called Mrs. Chen, the babysitter. Can Lily stay with you for a few days? Of course, Mija. What's wrong? Just between apartments. Need a few days to sort things. The lie tasted like ash. 9:15 a.m. Marcus's office security report arrived. The background check he'd ordered days ago. Marcus opened the file on Maya Rodriguez. Current employment, the Harbor Grill, 250-hour plus tips, average monthly income, $200 and $200 in monthly expenses, $340, detailed breakdown. Current savings, $0 as of Sunday. Recent transaction, $847 to Walgreens Pharmacy, prescription pickup. Eviction notice filed, Monday, rent unpaid. Daughter, Lily Rodriguez, age 6, chronic asthma medical debt. $287,000. Mother, Maya. Deceased 8 years ago. Father, Unknown, not listed. Marcus stared at the numbers. She spent her last dollar on his son's medication. She was being evicted today because she saved his son. Because she bought medication his insurance denied. His phone rang. Head of security. Sir, there's a situation. Dr. Richard Chen has filed criminal complaint against Maya Rodriguez. Warrant issued for her arrest. Practicing medicine without a license. When? Warrant active as of this morning. Seattle PD has been notified. Marcus, where is she now? Home address, Rainier Valley. But sir, get my helicopter ready, now. Sir, what are you? Do it. 10:34 a.m. Maya's apartment building. Maya packed boxes. Lily with Mrs. Chen next door. Everything she'd built. Collapsing. Then she heard it. Helicopter rotors. Growing louder. Other tenants came into the hallway. What the hell? The sound intensified. Deafening. The helicopter descended toward the building. It had rooftop access. Old building, flat roof. It landed. The entire neighborhood gathered. People filming on phones. Everyone staring. Marcus Castellano stepped out, wearing suit, carrying briefcase. Walked down internal stairs to third floor. Found Maya's apartment. Door open, boxes visible. Knocked. Maya turned, saw him. What are you doing here? Stopping you from being arrested. What? He showed her his phone. Arrest warrant. Chen's criminal complaint. Police are on their way, probably 20 minutes out. I don't understand. Chen filed criminal charges. You're about to be arrested for helping my son. Maya's world tilted. But I didn't. I just made recommendations. Doesn't matter. He has evidence, testimony, documentation. So what, you came here to watch? I came here to fix this. But first, he pulled out an envelope. She opened it. Check for $847. Reimbursement. Certified letter from his attorney offering to fund license reinstatement. Handwritten note. My son is alive because you risked everything. Let me help you risk nothing ever again. Lease agreement for apartment in his building. 2-bedroom, no rent for 6 months. Medical insurance included for Lily. Maya staring. I don't want your charity. It's not charity. It's restitution. I destroyed your career because I was lazy. You saved my son because you're a healer. These aren't equal, but it's a start. Police sirens in the distance. Marcus, we don't have time. Come with me now. My lawyers will handle the arrest warrant. I can't just leave. Yes, you can. Or you can go to prison and Lily goes to foster care. Brutal truth. Maya frozen. Marcus, I've already arranged everything. My attorneys are filing emergency motions, civil rights violation, wrongful prosecution, Chen's fraud exposed. How did you? I spent the weekend building a case. Chen didn't just frame you. He framed 11 other doctors over the past 8 years, all to cover his own malpractice. I have evidence, testimony, sealed records I accessed through board privileges. You're risking your board position. I don't care. I voted to destroy you without looking at evidence. I'm complicit, and I won't let it happen again. Sirens closer. Neighbors shouting, "Cops are coming!" Marcus, Maya, please, let me help. She looked around the apartment. Boxes, bills, eviction notice. Lily's inhaler on the counter. Looked at him. Guilty, desperate, genuine. Why? Because you saved my son, even though I destroyed you. Because that makes you a better person than I'll ever be. Because if I don't do this, I can't look at Marcus Jr. without seeing my own cowardice. Maya grabbed Lily's inhaler, her medical journal. A photo of her mother. Okay. They moved toward the stairs. Police cars pulling up outside. Helicopter rotors already spinning. They reached the roof. Seattle spread out below. Elliott Bay gray and churning. Rain clouds gathering over the Olympics. Maya had never been in a helicopter. Marcus helped her in, handed her headphones. Police entering the building below. The helicopter lifted off. Maya watched her apartment building shrink. The entire neighborhood watching. Phones recording. Her invisibility shattered forever. No going back now. And then she saw him, Marcus Jr. in the helicopter, seat behind his father. He smiled at her. Typed on his iPad, "Thank you for saving my life." Maya's throat tightened. As the helicopter banked over Elliott Bay, she looked down and saw her old life disappearing. She didn't know it yet, but the next 48 hours would reveal a connection between her past and Marcus's family that went back 14 months, to the night his wife died. And when that truth came out, everything about this story would change. Marcus's penthouse overlooked downtown Seattle. Floor-to-ceiling windows, rain streaking the glass. The city spread out below like a circuit board, lights blinking in the gray afternoon. Maya sat on the leather couch, Lily beside her. The girl was quiet, taking everything in. The massive television on the wall, the original artwork, the marble countertops in the kitchen visible through the open floor plan. Across the room, Marcus Jr. showed Lily something on his iPad. A game. She laughed. Small sound. First time Maya had heard her daughter laugh in days. Marcus Sr. entered from the conference room. Legal team working behind closed doors. Voices murmuring. Papers shuffling. He carried a thick file folder. Sat across from Maya. My attorneys are handling the arrest warrant. Emergency injunction filed. Civil rights violation, wrongful prosecution, malicious prosecution. They're good. Best in Seattle. Maya nodded. Didn't quite believe it yet. Marcus opened the folder. But there's something you need to see. Something I found in the sealed files. He spread documents across the coffee table. Case files, medical reports, disciplinary records. Chen didn't just frame you. He framed 11 other doctors over the past 8 years. Maya leaned forward, scanned the names. Some she recognized. Colleagues from her residency. Doctors she'd respected, all destroyed, all blamed for Chen's mistakes. Evidence manipulation in every case. Pattern is identical. Fabricate documentation, alter timestamps, access their login credentials, then present irrefutable proof to the board. Marcus pulled out one file, set it in front of Maya. But this one stood out. Maya read the name. Froze, Dr. Sarah Montgomery, disciplinary review, case 2024-037. That's my mother's name. Marcus looked up. Your mother was a doctor? No. Nurse. ER nurse at Seattle Children's Hospital. She died 8 years ago. This case is from 14 months ago. Maya's hands trembled as she opened the file. Different Sarah Montgomery. But as she flipped through pages, she saw something in a peripheral photo. Background of an accident scene documentation. An ER nurse. Face partially visible. Not her mother, but someone she knew. Elena Rodriguez, her mother's best friend. The woman who took Maya in when her own mother died. Unofficial adoption. Gave Maya her last name when she was 16 and needed legal guardianship. Aunt Elena, who Maya called when she couldn't call her mother anymore. This is connected to your wife's accident. Marcus went still. What? Maya pulled up the accident reports. March 15th, 2024. Car accident. Rebecca Castellano killed on scene. Marcus Jr. survived with injuries. ER team at Seattle Children's Hospital. Nurse on duty, Elena Rodriguez, working under her professional name, Sarah Montgomery. Maya found her notes. Handwritten, precise. The way Aunt Elena always documented everything. Patient Marcus Castellano Jr., age 7, presenting with facial trauma, possible throat injury during accident, small glass fragments noted in oral cavity. Recommend immediate ENT examination for embedded foreign material. Flagging for follow-up. But the follow-up never happened. Maya flipped through more pages. Found 2 more attempts from Aunt Elena. Same recommendation, same concern, then nothing. Elena Rodriguez died 4 months later. Heart attack. Stress-induced, the coroner said. But Maya knew. Aunt Elena had been exhausted, overworked, carrying guilt from the accident, from losing a patient's mother while the child survived. Her final medical report buried in hospital files. She tried to save him, Maya whispered. Even after she died, her documentation could have prevented all of this. Marcus leaned closer. What do you mean? The throat trauma she documented. It created scar tissue. That's why his allergies became severe. The physical damage makes his reactions worse. It's not just psychosomatic. There's structural damage from the accident that was never treated. Marcus's face went pale. My God. If someone had followed up on her notes, 17 specialists wouldn't have missed it. Your son could have had surgery 14 months ago, before the scar tissue became this severe. Who buried her report? Maya checked the file signatures. Supervisory review, attending physician oversight. One name appeared on every page. Dr. Richard Chen, ER supervisor on duty. Chen. The name tasted like poison. He was supervising that night. He dismissed her concerns as nursing over caution. He's the one who marked it resolved without follow-up. The connection crystallized in her mind. Chen's negligence 14 months ago led to Marcus Jr.'s ongoing crisis, led to 17 specialists missing the obvious, led to a boy suffering for over a year. And then Maya understood the rest. When I was treating Thomas Whitmore, Marcus looked up. The patient death Chen blamed you for? Yes. Thomas had similar throat trauma. Car accident victim 3 years earlier. I found structural damage other doctors missed. Recommended surgery Chen said was unnecessary. What happened? I performed the surgery anyway. Against Chen's orders, Thomas survived, fully recovered. Then why did he? Because I proved him wrong. I documented that his observation-only protocol was negligent. I was building a case to report him to the board. I had evidence of 3 other accident victims he'd mismanaged. Children who suffered because he dismissed nursing assessments, because he refused to listen to anyone who challenged his authority. Marcus sat back. So he framed you first. He killed a different patient, 4-year-old, also named Thomas Whitmore. Similar name, different child. Died from Chen's experimental protocol. Then he blamed me. Altered records to make it look like I'd treated both Thomases. Confused the cases. Made it seem like my surgery killed the second Thomas when it actually saved the first. And I voted to destroy you without checking which Thomas died. Chen knew if I stayed, I'd eventually uncover his pattern. The accident victims he dismissed. The structural damage he kept missing. The children who died or suffered because he was too arrogant to listen to nurses, too territorial to admit mistakes, too invested in his reputation to care about the truth. Silence filled the penthouse. Rain hammering harder now. Then a small voice from across the room. "Dad? Is Miss Maya going to help me?" Both adults turned. Marcus Jr. stood in the doorway, Lily behind him, peeking out shyly. Marcus Sr.'s voice softened. "Yes, buddy, she is. The medication she sent. I haven't had a reaction since I started taking it." Maya sat forward. "That's good. That's really good. Even when I ate nuts by accident yesterday." Maya's eyes went wide. "You what?" "I tested it. At school, ate 3 peanuts. He held up 3 fingers. Nothing happened. Marcus Sr. stood alarmed. "Marcus, that's incredibly dangerous." "Wait." Maya held up her hand. "Nothing happened?" The boy shook his head. My throat got a little tight, but not like before. I could breathe fine. The medicine worked. Maya's medical mind raced. The anticoagulant she'd bought. It wasn't just preventing hemorrhage during allergic reactions. It was reducing inflammation around the scar tissue. His body was finally healing from the accident. She looked at Marcus Sr., her voice steady. "Certain. Your son is going to be okay. Actually okay. But he needs surgery to remove the scar tissue completely, and he needs it soon, before it calcifies permanently." Marcus stared at her, hope and fear warring on his face. "Can you do it?" "I don't have a license." "Then we get you one. Today." "It's not that simple." "Yes, it is. Because Chen is done. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows it." 3 lives connected by one man's negligence. A nurse who tried to save a boy and died with her warning unheard. A doctor framed for trying to expose a pattern. And a child suffering for 14 months because pride mattered more than truth. But Maya Rodriguez wasn't done. She'd lost her license saving children. Now she was going to break the law one more time. To finish what her godmother started. Friday, 9 a.m. Seattle Children's Hospital boardroom. Wood paneling. Long conference table. 12 leather chairs. Windows overlooking the hospital campus where doctors and nurses moved like ants between buildings. Emergency board meeting. Called by Marcus Castellano. The board members arrived one by one. Confused. Concerned. Marcus hadn't given details, just demanded their presence. Threatened to withdraw funding if they refused. Dr. Richard Chen arrived last. Confident, arrogant, he took his seat at the table. Consultant position. Not voting member, but influential. His research grants brought millions to the hospital. He didn't know what was coming. Marcus stood at the head of the table. Laptop connected to the projector. Legal counsel beside him. Hospital administrators along the walls. "Thank you for coming on short notice. What I'm about to show you will change everything we thought we knew about this institution." He clicked. The screen filled with documents. 11 cases. 11 doctors. 11 careers destroyed. Dr. Richard Chen has systematically fabricated evidence against doctors who challenged him. Over 8 years, 11 documented cases, pattern of evidence manipulation, credential access violations, and deliberate malpractice cover-up. Chen stood. "This is outrageous. Castellano is compromised. His son's waitress, her name is Dr. Maya Rodriguez." Marcus's voice cut like steel. "And she's a better physician than you'll ever be." He clicked again. Maya's analysis of Marcus Jr.'s condition. Detailed, precise, brilliant. She identified in 7 minutes what 17 specialists missed in 14 months. She diagnosed structural throat trauma from a car accident. Trauma that was documented by ER nurse Elena Rodriguez the night of the accident. Trauma that Dr. Chen, as supervising physician, dismissed as nursing over caution. Board members leaning forward now, Chen's face losing color. Marcus clicked through more slides. Elena's buried reports. Follow-up recommendations ignored. Chen's signature marking the case resolved without proper examination. My son has suffered for over a year because Dr. Chen was too arrogant to listen to a nurse, because he valued his reputation over a child's life. Dr. Patricia Walsh, lead allergist, spoke up. Marcus, this is serious. But why? Why am I bringing this to you instead of authorities? Because I already contacted the State Medical Board and the FBI. Fraud involving federal Medicare payments is a federal crime. They're opening investigations today. The room erupted, board members talking over each other. Chen stood, face red. This is a witch hunt. Castellano is biased. His son's waitress filled his head with lies. Stop calling her a waitress. Marcus's voice dropped. Dangerous. Dr. Maya Rodriguez lost her license because you framed her. Thomas Whitmore case. You killed a patient through experimental protocol, then blamed her. Altered records, merged two different patients with similar names, made it look like her surgery caused the death when it actually saved a different child. He clicked. Security footage. Chen accessing Maya's computer. Timestamp alterations, prescription note forgeries. I have evidence, testimony, sealed records, and I have something else. Marcus held up a medication bottle. This is the anticoagulant Dr. Rodriguez purchased with her last $847, her entire savings, to save my son when insurance denied coverage. She made herself homeless to buy medicine for a child whose father destroyed her career. Silence. She didn't know who I was when she saved him at that restaurant. Didn't know I voted to revoke her license. She saved him anyway. Because that's who she is. Dr. Butter, Walsh's voice quiet now. The analysis she provided, it's extraordinary work. Why isn't she practicing? Because 18 months ago, I voted to revoke her license without examining evidence. Because Dr. Chen lied, and I was too lazy to check. Because this institution values credentials over competence and reputation over truth. He looked directly at Chen. But that ends today. Vote called. Remove Chen from all positions pending investigation. The board voted. One by one, unanimous. Chen stood, shaking. You'll regret this, Castellano. All of you. I've given this hospital. Security, please escort Dr. Chen out. Two officers appeared. Chen shouted as they led him away. Threats, accusations, desperation, then silence. Marcus addressed the board again. I'm submitting my resignation, effective immediately. Dr. Walsh stood. Marcus, that's not necessary. It is? I failed, Dr. Rodriguez. I failed every Dr. Chen destroyed. I don't deserve this seat. What will you do? I'm funding a foundation, independent oversight for medical licensing boards, advocacy for doctors wrongfully accused, and I'm personally funding Dr. Rodriguez's license reinstatement, plus 15 other doctors Chen framed. Board members shifted uncomfortably. They were all complicit, all voted without investigating. Marcus continued. One more thing. Dr. Rodriguez has offered to perform surgery on my son. The surgery 17 specialists said wasn't necessary. I'm requesting emergency medical privileges for her as a guest surgeon. Dr. Walsh shook her head. Marcus, she doesn't have a license. We can't, then, reinstate it. Today. Or I withdraw all Castellano Foundation funding. $47 million currently supporting this hospital. The room went cold. Marcus checked his watch. You have 4 hours. He walked out. Justice delivered. Chen is done. But here's what I didn't tell you at the beginning. This is story number 23 in my Hidden Genius series. I've documented hundreds of cases of brilliant people working invisible jobs. Doctors serving coffee, engineers driving ride shares, teachers cleaning houses. And every single one has a story that will restore your faith in the invisible people society trains us to overlook. If you want to see them, you need to subscribe. YouTube's algorithm only pushes my content to engage subscribers now. Hit that button. Next week, the janitor at MIT, who solved an equation that stumped professors for 20 years. His story ends with a Fields Medal and a revolution in mathematics. Drop below. What hidden skill do you have that would shock people who only see your job title? I read every comment. Your story might be next. And stay until the end. Because what happens in Maya's surgery, what she discovers inside Marcus Jr.'s throat, is going to explain everything. And I mean everything. 2:47 p.m. Same day. Emergency board vote. The 12 members remaining after Marcus's resignation. 11 who'd voted to destroy Maya Rodriguez 18 months ago. Now they voted to restore her. Maya's medical license reinstated pending full review, but active immediately. She was Dr. Maya Rodriguez again. First time in 18 months. Saturday morning. Seattle Children's Hospital operating room. Maya stood at the scrub sink. Soap and water. Methodical movements, muscle memory returning. She'd done this thousands of times. But not in 18 months. Not since they took everything from her. She looked at her reflection in the mirror above the sink. Different person now. Harder, but still a healer. She pulled on surgical gloves, walked into the OR. Marcus Jr. already under anesthesia. Small body on the table, surrounded by machines, monitors beeping steady rhythms. Team of specialists watching. Dr. Patricia Walsh, other doctors who dismissed Maya's analysis days ago. Now they were here to see if the waitress really was a surgeon. Maya's hands were steady, confident. She was home. She made the first incision, opened his throat carefully. Years of training guided her hands. She could see it, exactly where Aunt Elena had documented 14 months ago. Scar tissue, dense, inflamed, wrapped around the trachea like a strangling hand. And embedded in the tissue, small fragment. Glass. From the car accident windshield, this tiny piece of glass, no bigger than a grain of rice, had been triggering his severe allergic reactions, creating inflammation, making his body attack itself. 17 specialists missed it, dismissed the nursing assessment, trusted their technology over a nurse's eyes and hands. Maya removed it carefully, extracted the scar tissue, repaired the structural damage with precision that made the watching specialists lean closer. Surgery complete. 2 hours, 14 minutes. Perfect. Recovery room. Marcus Jr. woke slowly, groggy, confused, then his eyes focused. Dad, his voice clear, no rasp, no struggle. Miss Maya. Marcus Sr. stood from the chair, rushed to his son's side, tears in his eyes. I'm here, buddy. She's here too. Maya approached. Checked his vitals. Professional assessment. But her eyes were soft. How do you feel? The boy smiled. My throat doesn't hurt. It worked. 3 weeks later, Maya's new apartment, 2-bedroom in Marcus's building. Not charity, not guilt. Agreement between equals. Lily's artwork covered the refrigerator. Bright colors, happy drawings. A family of 3, her, Lily, and a stick figure with a stethoscope that might have been her mother or might have been herself. Medical license framed on the wall. Right next to it, photo of Aunt Elena in her nursing scrubs, both watching over the apartment. New position, pediatric hematologist at Seattle Children's Hospital. Part-time. Consulting basis. They'd offered full-time, but Maya refused. She had other plans. Starting a nonprofit clinic, free healthcare for uninsured children. Castellano Foundation funding, $2 million initial grant. Lily played on the floor with Marcus Jr. They were friends now. He showed her games on his iPad. She taught him to draw. Two children who'd almost lost everything. Maya cooked dinner, pasta, garlic bread, normal things. Things she couldn't afford 3 weeks ago. Knock at the door. Marcus Sr. entered with grocery bags. They'd fallen into a rhythm, not romance. Too soon, too complicated, too much history between them. But genuine friendship, mutual respect, something undefined but warm. Lily called him Mr. Marcus. He taught her to sail on weekends, took both children to the aquarium, made up for time his own son lost grieving. It wasn't perfect. Maya still flinched when board members entered rooms, still had nightmares about Chen, about poverty, about police sirens and eviction notices and the feeling of everything collapsing. Therapy helped. She and Marcus Jr. saw the same trauma specialist, processed their grief together in separate sessions, learned to carry their losses without letting the weight crush them. But she was healing. They all were. Maya's journey from invisible to unstoppable took 18 months of poverty, then 72 hours of revelation, and finally a single surgery to reclaim everything. But here's what I didn't tell you at the start. There are 47 more stories like hers in my investigation. Stories of hidden geniuses working in plain sight. Paralegals who were once Supreme Court clerks. Cashiers who speak 7 languages. Delivery drivers who hold PhDs in physics. Security guards who were once Navy SEALs. I find these people. I tell their stories. Because society trains us to judge competence by appearance, title, and tax bracket. And I'm building a community that refuses that lie. If you made it this far, you're part of the 8% who watch until the end. That means something. It means these stories matter to you as much as they matter to me. Here's how you can help. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like. Comment below with what struck you most about Maya's story. YouTube rewards channels when engaged viewers like you take these simple actions. And your engagement determines whether I can keep investigating these stories. Drop below. What hidden skill do you have that would shock people who only see your job title? I read every comment. Your story might be next. Because somewhere right now, there's a dishwasher who's actually a James Beard-nominated chef. A rideshare driver who's actually a former ambassador. A barista who's actually a concert violinist. They're invisible until someone looks. 6 months later. Rainier Valley. Maya's old neighborhood. Clinic opening day. Free healthcare for uninsured children. The building's small but bright. Fresh paint. New equipment. Sign above the door. Rodriguez Community Health Center, because everyone deserves to be seen, staff of 12. Including 3 doctors Chen destroyed. Licenses restored. Careers rebuilt. Marcus Jr. cut the ribbon. Ceremonial scissors. Big smile. He was completely healthy. No allergic reactions in 5 months. He spoke to the small crowd gathered. First public speech since his mother's death. Miss Maya saved my life when nobody else could. Now she's helping other kids. That's what heroes do." Maya stood in white coat, her mother's stethoscope around her neck, Aunt Elena's nursing badge pinned to her collar, carrying them both forward. Lily watched from the corner, pride in her eyes. Marcus Sr. beside her. Board of directors for the clinic. Funding secured for 10 years. Line of families outside, waiting for appointments. Across the street, the Harbor Grill, where everything changed. Maya's old manager, Todd, stood in line. His daughter's sick, needs a doctor, can't afford insurance. Maya saw him, smiled, waved him forward. "Come on in. Let's take care of her." Nobody is invisible here. Dr. Maya Rodriguez spent 18 months serving coffee to people who didn't see her. Now she serves the people nobody else sees. And that helicopter ride, best decision Marcus Castellano ever made. Well, second best. The best was finally looking at the evidence.